Are you trying to submit your first quarterly Making Tax Digital return, but the Send HMRC button is greyed out? You've checked your figures, you're ready to submit, the deadline is approaching, and the software just won't let you send the return. Don't panic. In this video, I'll walk you through some of the common reasons why that HMRC submission button might be disabled, what you need to check, and how you can get your return submitted before the deadline. Hi, I'm Lucy. I'm from Burton's Academy, and I create simple, practical software guidance for business owners and accountants. During this session, we're running through Making Tax Digital in Xero to make sure you can get your return submitted in time. So starting on the dashboard, what we want to do is go on over to our tax page. So we're going to click Tax, Making Tax Digital for Income Tax. And we're going to jump straight into our Income and Expenses page. As you can see, our Send HMRC button is disabled. Now this might be because I don't have the relevant permissions. So to double check that one, what we need to do is click on our name, go to Settings, and then go to Users. And then in here, what we want to do is double check that our name says Making Tax Digital. And if, like me, it doesn't have anything in relation to Making Tax Digital, what we need to do is come on over on the three dots, change permissions, and scroll down to this file, Making Tax Digital VAT Returns, and click on the button. This means that I can file VAT returns to HMRC directly from Xero, and then click Update Permissions. If you don't have access to do that, then you will need to go and check with your accountants to see if they have access to grant this for you instead. Option number 2 to why the button might be greyed out. Do you have this warning sign on this on the top of the page? Now it's maybe not very obvious because it's not fully in red, but this is actually something we need to look at. So it says you need to confirm the update period for this business before you send an update. Changing it will affect the dates covered by your updates and the income and expenses totals. Now, this should typically only happen on your first quarterly submission, and this is just because we've only just set up Making Tax Digital in Xero. So click on the Manage button, and then we either choose Calendar Updates or Standard Updates. Now, for this particular client, we are going for Standard, and therefore that is using the 5th and the 6th as our deadlines. So therefore it's the 6th of April to the 5th of July. If, however, we're using the calendar dates and it's the 1st of April to the 31st of March, then you want to choose calendar update periods. If you're not sure which one you're using, and go on over to HMRC portal to check which option you've chosen when you signed up. So choose the relevant period and then click Confirm. If the update button is still not allowing you to submit, one of the other reasons may be because you have some business entertainment costs in this section. So what you need to do is double check, is the transactions that are in business entertainment costs correct to be classed as business entertainment costs? If they are, this is a disallowable cost, and therefore you need to enter the full value that is in this total column into the disallowable column. That will then allow you to send this through. Another thing to bear in mind when you're looking at this as well is in this instance, we have no transactions in any of our expense buckets other than other business expenses. And this is because at the moment, all of the chart of accounts have been classified as other business expenses. So what we can do is click on this other business expenses and we can see exactly where they're coded to. And as you can see, everything is just classified as an expense. If HMRC were to receive this Making Tax Digital submission, that might cause some questions. We want to reduce the amount of questions you may get asked by HMRC. So what I would advise to do is double check your chart of accounts and make sure the mapping is correct. So to do this, you want to go on over to Accounting and Chart of Accounts. And here we now have a new button called Edit Report Code Mappings. So click on this one, and then what that allows you to do is see every single type of chart every single type of account code you have. So they are listed on the left side, and then the report codes that they are linked to are shown on the right side. So this is where you can then make sure the mappings are correct. So for example, let's have a look at our sales revenue. So we have this line item as sales, and we need to make sure this is mapped to the correct location. To map this item, you want to click on this button, and then you want to choose the right code over here. So I've actually started a search for sales, and this shows me we have revenue, turnover, and sales revenue. What you can do is look on the description of each of these items, of each of these codes, to see which is the most relevant. So for revenue, revenue can be classed as trading revenue, investment revenue, other revenue, grants, or comprehensive income. Whereas turnover, it represents revenue received by entities from its original activities after deduction of trade discounts and taxes. And then sales revenue is sales. So therefore, officially, it could be any of those three things. Just make sure you choose the same one for every type of thing. So if you have multiple sales, so for example, I am a tree surgeon and I go into clients and I cut down some trees, and then I maybe trim some bushes as well. They're both two types of sales revenue, but they're basically the same thing. They are both sales. So as long as they're both therefore classed as revenue, turnover, or sales revenue, it doesn't really matter. But just make sure they're covered under the same area code. So in this instance, I could choose revenue for this sales transaction. So to map it, I'm going to click this button over here called map. And then that now no longer has a review button. If you want to go through all of these, you can do it in order from here. You can also filter and remove any of the transactions that you've already reviewed. So you can choose the review status, and this will only show the transactions you haven't yet mapped. You haven't therefore checked the mapping to make sure it's right. And here you can see we have all of these expense codes under expense. But for example, rent, really good example, that actually has its own item here. And therefore we have rent on the left side that is going to expense, but it should actually go to rent on this side. So I'm going to choose rent by clicking the tick box here. And then this rent option, I'm going to click map. Just to have a look at what we've already done, we can then go back and have a look at that rent code. And here now it is showing rent instead of expenses. They are just a couple of top tips to do when you're looking at submitting your tax return. If you have any more queries for making tax digital in Xero, please reach out and I will have a look at what else I can help with. I hope this video was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more helpful top tips. I'll see you at the next one.